Walk a Mile in Her Shoes, the annual fundraiser for Jillian's Place, is returning as a live event to the Penn Centre on October 15th. I am proud to say that this year, for the very first time, I've been asked to be an ambassador for the event. To talk more about it, we have Executive Director Nicole Reguer and Director of Development and Communications, Graham Dargavel. Graham, Nicole, thank you for thinking of me, and I understand, Graham, you've brought something for me today.
Mike, thank you. They're very beautiful.
Oh, wow.
And I already know you can do it.
Wow, look at these. I'm going to put these on
Excellent.
right now. I think that's the plan. What do you think? So I'm glad that I bought a new pair of shoes here so I don't look like I'm pulling off an old pair of running shoes to put these on. So can we talk about the event while I'm fumbling with my laces?
Absolutely.
This is a really big thing, getting back to the Penn Centre.
Yeah, we're so excited. You know, we've been doing this event for quite some time, and I've been involved with the event personally for, more than 10 years, almost 12 years. And so, though when we pivoted to a virtual event, it went really well and we had a lot of engagement. There's nothing.
Graham's got to hold the shoes for me because I can't get my shoe off. There we go. There's one. Let's see.
Let me just say, there's nothing quite like seeing someone try and struggle to get their shoes on in person.
Is this a right or a left shoe? I can't even tell.
That's a right? You put them together, your toes are going to point.
There we go.
Yeah, there you go.
I've always struggled with rights and lefts.
So go on. I'm sorry, I interrupted you.
No, that's okay. Being back in person, we get to see stuff like this, right? We get to see the men, struggling to get their heels on and walk around, and there's really nothing quite like it. There's nothing quite like the camaraderie we see among the participants, and everyone who's out to cheerlead and be supporters, and it's just it's an environment and a day that just reverberates through the walls of the Penn Centre, and it's an exciting time to be there, just watching everybody come together to end violence against women.
What's the goal this year, Graham?
120,000, and we're very, very grateful to our corporate sponsors and some early fundraisers. We've already raised over $30,000, and I really think that speaks to the thirst to be back at the Penn Centre and also the need.
That visibility is so important, but you did do some version of the walk the last couple of years during the pandemic. How did those turn out?
They were great. Like I said, we had such fantastic community support. We really engaged the entire community the last couple of years. We had men, women, children, pets walking, but we really felt it was important, for men to have their own space.
Why are you laughing, Nicole?
You look like you're so uncomfortable. But they must feel great.
They do feel great. But yeah, that is a very thin hill.
That is it does, it takes some balance, and I would, suggest and put the word out to anyone who's looking to participate this year is, start practicing early, because, you want to, it is a mile, it is a full mile through the Penn Centre in heels, and that's no easy feat, but, it's really nothing compared to, what women are experiencing every day, and that's the point of it, right? We want to see men out finding their own way to support an issue that's typically seen as a woman's issue, and it's meant to be uncomfortable and a little bit, but also it makes a really big statement when men are out and marching that it's not just a women's issue. We're here to put an end to it too.
It is a topic that in itself is very uncomfortable as well, but we need to talk about it. Statistics, Graham, during the COVID pandemic went through the roof, really.
Absolutely. We've seen not only an increase in the prevalence of violence, but also the increase in severity. So we ran numbers since the last Men's March at the Penn Centre. Nearly 400 have lived in our shelter. Over 8,000 crisis calls and texts were answered on our 24/7 support line, and over 1,700 women were supported through our legal programs. So I think really speaks to the prevalence of violence and abuse in our community, and we see sadly very complex issues faced by our clients. And now that we're living, learning to live with COVID, coming out of the pandemic with all-time high inflation rate, increased housing and food insecurity, those that, we speak to the struggles and the heels, those are increasing barriers and difficult for everyone to live with, but when you're living with violence and abuse, that even further compounds them.
I know that with all those numbers that Graham is talking about, Nicole, things must be over capacity at Jillian's place.
Yeah, we have for a long while now had women and children, families in spaces in our shelter that were never meant to be bedrooms, right? But we will line the halls and cots before we would ever turn anybody to the street. Sadly, there are times that we are just completely over capacity, and so we need to redirect to other appropriate services. But everybody's feeling the same, pressure that we are. So it's a challenging environment that we're in right now. But we are, as an organization, working to raise funds through events like Jillian's Place, so that we can meet the increased demand for our service that is, sadly so needed in our community right now.
For the walk, how will these funds be used if you do raise the $120,000, Graham?
Yeah, so we sadly don't receive enough ministry funding. About 50% of our operating budget is relied on support from the community. So not only just emergency 24/7 shelter service and crisis service, but second stage housing, our legal program, public education, violence prevention programs. We really offer a wide spectrum of support services just beyond shelter. So really looking where the gaps are, but 100% of these funds are needed now more than ever before.
Nicole, October 15th at the Penn Center, exactly where and what time?
Yeah, so it's in the Walmart Sport Check area. The walk starts at 11 a.m. and we're really excited to see everybody back in person this year.
Well, I can't wait to get up on these. I'm not going to do it on camera. I have started my fundraising campaign, and as I told the two of you, I am pledging to wear these on the show until October 15th.
That's amazing.
So you will see me on the show, and people can contribute to my cause, my donations to the cause as well. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank
you
you
for having us.